This episode brought to you by Kepri, delivering enhanced digital experiences through custom development. The restaurant business is getting more competitive than ever, and as you can imagine, even fast casual is feeling the pinch to continue to innovate. One of the areas that we are exploring is menu innovation and what makes it work for successful brands. Wildflower Bread is uniquely positioned as an upscale fast casual brand focused on food-forward approaches. Menu innovation is the core of any business that seeks to create consistency and quality at every turn. That is where we joined the Wildflower team to discover not just the food at the end, but the entire creative and supply system process that makes a fast casual menu item stand the test of time. The goal to provide great quality, consistent product, and an elevated experience that will feel close to full service is the key. The value will be tremendous, and if concepts can crack the code, we could see a second wave in fast casual. So we took a trip to Phoenix, Arizona to visit my longtime friend and fast casual pioneer, Basile, and his timeless brand, Wildflower Bread Company.
Welcome. So this is where we make all of our breads, cakes, pies, and then of course we do product development here. This is the secret to the bread. This is the starter. So this is our sourdough starter, and you can get a real feel for that by putting your nose in there. We actually cultivate 3 different starters on a daily basis. So we make a sourdough starter, a caraway rye starter, and then a much denser starter, a Lavande starter.
All right.
So over here is product development.
Right, so Louis, when you guys break down a new menu item, like this process that you're going through right here, you know, the whole theme, is everything built right here, tested, kind of developed before you obviously take it into the restaurant?
Yeah,
to try
so
to
we'll
replicate
do
it?
all of the really hard work here, right? We'll perfect the recipe, we'll taste the recipe, we'll work through the procedures. We have all of the equipment that we have in the restaurants here. And so then we'll refine that, we'll figure out the costing of it, the plating of it, and then sometimes we'll take it to test. But most of the time, because these are seasonal menu offerings, we're very comfortable going right to market. If it's compelling, it stays on the menu. If not, we may move it off. It may come back at the same time next year. It really depends on the feedback. We start by making all of these products ourselves, and then we give that recipe to our supplier so that we can take out some of the prep that's involved with all of these items. Because as you can imagine, the Wildflower in particular has a very broad menu, and we don't have a space or the time to prep all of those items. So some of those items are prepped for us.
This is a new menu item.
That's a new menu item, right?
It doesn't overpower it either. That's really good. And I like the mouthfeel because you're getting a little quinoa in there, the density of the cauliflower. It's awesome. I love that. Great job, Lacey. Thanks for letting us see your masterful work here. All right, guys, so we had a chance to get through the commissary, kind of evolving the process of menu development in fast casual concepts like what you guys are doing here at the Wildflower, Louis, especially with this food forward approach, chef-inspired type stuff. Very methodical in how creations kind of begin. Louis, do you bring the ideas to the table, or do you kind of bring this in as a cultivated team approach?
Well, I think today's successful businesses, whether it's restaurant or anything, is really a collaborative process. And we really continue to seek ideas and search out really the best culinary concepts. So we're always looking to eat and say, okay, how does this translate to the Wildflower? And really, between that, Food Channel, trade magazines, the web, that's how we get our best ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so we're going to talk about one of your staple products that you guys has been on the menu for, I think what you told me, 19 years.
Yeah, since inception.
Yeah, so the BLT Plus. Talk to us about that process, of being able to bring a staple product to market, getting it into the menu, getting it into operations. Let's talk a little bit about, kind of the process of what you go through on the culinary side.
So a lot of the times, we do a lot of research, and then it's just about bringing the ingredients in, just playing around with food. We do a lot of eating. We make a lot of mistakes. Once we find something we like, then all the work really begins.
Sourcing's got to be a challenge. Of course, obviously with something like the BLT Plus, that's one angle of a kind of a staple of almost every restaurant. But doing it, I mean, you kind of put yourself up there on a pedestal, say we have to do this better than anybody. So this means super ingredients. What are some of the challenges you face there, Brendan?
The problems with sourcing that we find is finding a supplier that aligns with our high quality, our high standards,
Right.
and a consistent product too.
What we have found that's really successful for us is really truly partnering with the supplier. In that way, two things. One is we're incredibly comfortable that process is repeatable, that we actually can count on that, because that's really the consistency piece, right? And then the second piece is a real willingness to find partners that also want to collaborate with you like that, right? And for us, the best supplier partners are the ones that really are truly in it as a partner in a collaborative manner.
Here we are in the restaurant now. We got a chance to kind of ideate this whole sandwich concept with you. Let's break down the BLT Plus, kind of the whole process of what you go through in on the line in making the product. So ingredient wise.
So we start with the sourdough. Then, of course, we're going to use our fresh herb mayonnaise over here.
Okay.
Right? So we're taking a heavy mayonnaise and we're mixing fresh herbs in it. All right. Then we're going to put down aged cheddar cheese. We would bring over hot bacon on top of that sandwich, which then melts the cheese. Then, of course, we're going to finish it with tomatoes, romaine lettuce, and the real plus piece is the avocado. So we make a chunky avocado spread and we're going to put that on top of the sourdough. We close that sandwich up.
Great.
This sandwich has been on the menu now for 19 years
It's a long
and it
time.
remains our most popular. We consider this a cold sandwich, our most popular cold sandwich.
Yeah.
We try to take timeless ingredients. Of course, the BLT is a part of American, I would say food culture. And when you combine those ingredients, which you may not think about doing at home, that makes for an incredible sandwich that really is timeless.
I have to say that when they're creating the food, that's the colors and the integrity of the food make the food photography much easier than it would be. We shoot and photograph the food as is. There's no tricks, there's no
interesting.
concoctions, there's no
That's
typical.
cool.
Yeah, so we're just shooting the food as it's served. Of course, we're making
Meticulous
sure
on, yeah.
that everything is placed perfectly, but the food is what is served in the restaurant. So it's easy to work with and they have great product.
Do you guys ever run into times where you've come up with a good menu item? What happens? You get that through, and then the marketing side says, "Hey, what if we could do this?" Do you guys ever introduce something as an angle that might be able to present the product better for retail value?
Where I think where Jamie or for us, Fervor Creative really comes into play is we give them the ingredients and naming is incredibly important.
That's
okay,
true,
so
yeah.
what's the name of the item going to be? And we spend a lot of time on naming. We've stayed pretty true to the brand, and
Right.
so you go back to this whole idea of the consumer's moving. We're an incredibly our mantra when it comes to customer service is whatever it takes. So we're going to do whatever it takes, both at an airport location where service is typically not revered, okay, to the restaurant where we believe we've set the standard for serving incredible food and delivering an outstanding experience for customers for 19 years.